It is 10 o'clock. We know what that means. Getting quicker at this. All right. We're there. Ta-da. It's like magic. All right. Welcome to today's daily reflection. Today is September 29th, 2020. It is Tuesday. I always have to double check that stuff. And I do all that so we all know what day it is. You know, with coronavirus, everything else going on, Saturday isn't much different from Monday or any other day. So today we are talking about shaky emotional conditions, and that's pretty much when we come into the program. Before we get going here, though, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch, please say hello. Let me know that you are here. Good times. Remember that the video is about 2 seconds off now because of closed captioning, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I'm just wondering if somebody's sitting there writing while I'm talking. Let's see if this works. Tell me how that came out on it. Got a topic you'd like to hear about? Something you'd like to discuss, or you'd like me to discuss? Or if you ever have a topic, man, and you want to sit down and discuss it we both sit down and talk, I'd be happy to do that. Put it on the podcast, have a little bit of fun. Morning, Jill. Good to see you. We're all here. It's like a Tuesday morning party, right? So I don't know about you guys, but when I first came into the program, I was already riddled with a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. And we don't know how to handle that when we first come in. Essentially, what we want to do is run around and apologize to everybody for being such a jerk after we get to, step 2 or 3. And that is something that we need to wait on. You have to remember that during this time, you are making an amends. You don't know it yet, but you are making an amends. You're making a living amends. Okay. And you do that by staying sober and becoming a better person, working on becoming a better person. I believe that the only real amends or apology is change behavior. And so even a 9th step is not, I'm sorry, I'm such a jerk. Nah, I'm not going to say sorry. It is much different, but I'm getting into the 9th step there. I'm getting, about 6 steps ahead of ourselves. What? We alcoholics put the cart before the horse? We never do that. All right, let's get to some reading. In our first weeks or months in the program, our shaky emotional condition sometimes affects our feelings towards old friends and family. It certainly can. Maybe this is a real shaky time for us. All right. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put the proof of the pudding in there. And so we do that by going to 90 meetings in 90 days, getting a sponsor, and start doing the work in the book. Okay. Now, in the beginning, that's what your sponsor is there for, is for this shaky emotional condition. Okay. Because it's probably not going to be too comfortable sitting in a meeting doing that. Okay. Some people are okay with it. But when you do it in a meeting, if you have 30 people in the meeting, you're going to get 30 different pieces of advice. And that's just, it's kind of how it is when you ask people for suggestions, right? For many of us, these relationships heal quickly in the initial stages of our recovery. For others, a time of touchiness seems to persist. Now that we're no longer drinking or using other chemicals, we have to sort out our feelings about spouses, children, relatives, employers, fellow workers, and even neighbors. Experience in the program over the years has taught me that we should avoid making important decisions early in our recovery, like changing jobs, things like that, especially emotionally charged decision about people. Am I becoming better equipped to relate maturity to other people? Okay. It's not asking you if you're there, it's asking you if you are better equipped. That's the question here. And so, are you better equipped? The answer is probably yes. Okay. Whereas when you first came into the program, you didn't have anything but your fear driving you into the rooms. I don't see anybody come into the rooms of AA in the very beginning saying how their life is hunky dory. It just doesn't work that way. Okay. And we all go through that. We all go through this period. That's why it's a we program and we do it together. Right. So we don't have that awful aloneness. It's just hard, man. Hated those days. Glad I'm not there anymore. All right. I'm reading out of There is a Solution. Once in a while, he may tell the truth. And the truth, strange to say, is usually that he has no more idea why he took the first drink than you have. Some drinkers have excuses which they are satisfied part of the time, but in their hearts they really do not know why they do it. Once this malady has a real hold, they are a baffled lot. There is the obsession that somehow someday they will beat the game, but they often suspect that they are down for the count. How true this is, few realize. In a vague way, their families and friends sense that these drinkers are abnormal, but everybody hopefully awaits the day when the sufferer will arouse himself from his lethargy and assert his power of will. Yeah, they do wait on that, and you know, hopefully those people are patient because sometimes that can take a while. And this part right here can be extremely tough if there's a relapse going on. And I was a chronic relapser. And how many times, is my family going to believe that this is the time? Okay. Um, that took some work and it took time. Work and time. It it almost always comes down to that for me. Work and time. And that's okay. I have time. And it did. It took a long while for my kids and my family. And I'm not even quite there yet. There's still some family members I'm working on, but darn it, I'm going to have a relationship with them one day, a healthy relationship. Okay. Whether they want it or not. How true. Okay. The tragic truth is that if a man be a real alcoholic, the happy day may never arrive. It may not. Okay. Again, that's why it's important that we come on. It makes it even more important as to why people should tell their stories, and why we do service work. Okay. Yeah, a lot of our stories are the same, but sometimes there's those little nuances in it that just helps a person make a connection to another person. And then they come to the realization, hey, well, if Dion did it, because he was pretty messed up, I think I can do it too. Okay. And our stories provide hope for other people. He has not lost. Ugh, he has not lost control. At a certain point in the drinking, every alcoholic, he at a certain point in the drinking of every alcoholic, he passes in a state where the most powerful desire to stop drinking is of absolutely no avail. This tragic situation has already arrived in practically every case long before it is suspected. Okay, now it can be under suspect. We have a lot more information now to where we actually know. My mom knew that I was going to be an alcoholic. It was written all over my face. My actions were showing it. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power and choice in drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. We are unable at certain times to bring into our consciousness with sufficient force the memory or the suffering and humiliation of even a week or a month ago, we are without defense against the first drink. Yeah, I was actually we yesterday I was doing a podcast, and that came up a lot right there, that we couldn't bring up. We talked about this a little bit, that we couldn't bring up the bad crap that had happened to us. Getting out of the hospital, literally getting out of the hospital, you know, for heart attacks, that was mine, or for drug overdoses, that was theirs, and going right back to drinking and acting like nothing ever really happened. Okay. Yeah, our mind is tricky. It will block out things. Even while we're going through things I don't know if you've ever noticed, like if you have a high anxiety, that your brain will do certain things. Okay. And if your intention is not to find something, you won't find it. Even if it's right in front of you. You ever had that? I love the mute. So much easier. Usually I have to do other things. Whew. All right. Um, so have you ever noticed that? It's kind of a thing. All right. May God help me through the edginess, the confusions, or the refeeling and rethinking of my relationships. Yeah, we don't have to relive those over and over again, guys. I was in the middle of talking about. I apologize. See, stuff like that happens. Um, and you may be looking for something, and you looked at it, but it was never there, and then you went back and it was sitting right there, right? Okay. Well, I think I have a ghost in my head. No, that was your brain working against you. It blocked it out. Right. I know a lot of people don't believe me on that. So just you wait. Just you wait. Our brain does that. That's how it deals with trauma. Okay. It is not work. All your brain is just working towards ease and comfort. That's what it's going for. It is to provide information for you to make a good decision. Okay. Well, if we have a shitty crap of tools, that's not going to work very well. So pick up the new set of tools given to you by your sponsor and utilize those. May God help me through the edginess, the confusion of refeeling or rethinking my relationships, the getting it all together stages of my recovery. May I not rush into new relationships or new situations that demand an investment of my emotions. Not yet. Today I'll remember no entangling alliances too soon. Okay. We don't want you to make any big emotional changes in the first year. Okay. What, the first year? Yes, the first year. Okay. Why? I'm going to give you the quick answer because you're not ready. You don't, you know, even, I was married when I sobered up. Okay. And that took a lot of emotional stuff from me. And I was in that relationship. Well, imagine starting a new relationship, getting to know somebody, things like that. The other thing about getting into a relationship when you're new in the program is you're just looking for somebody else to make you feel good. And it's not going to work. Okay. Those intentions are wrong. Look at your intentions. Why are you getting into that relationship? And here's the other thing. If you two both are really serious about this, why can't you wait 6 more months? Because I want it now. Right? When I first got sober, God's answers were no. Okay? I spent a little time in the program, did some worked on the quality of my program. God started saying, not yet. Okay? I did the work. I worked hard, did the 12 steps, saw a therapist, got through my anxiety, my PTSD. You know, now God says, yeah, why not? Yeah. Okay. Those are the stages, and that's where we can. I'm not saying he doesn't come back and say no. I'm still human, but my life has become a lot different, even in God's eyes. You know, we can get to a point. We can get to a point where God trusts us, and that is one of the best feelings in the world. One of the best feelings in the world. I think it's pretty neat that, you know, 5 years ago I couldn't even wipe my ass. You know, and, 4.5 years later, here we are. Um, and God allows me each day. He gives me the comfort and the ease each day to be able to pass on what I need to. And he trusts me with that. This is an epiphany for me, guys. So, yeah, cool stuff. All right, we're at the 16-minute mark. So, I will be back for tomorrow's daily reflection. Um, in the meantime, take care of yourselves, guys. I love y'all. Peace out and have a day. Bye.